Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the final video of this video series, if you like. Today we're going to be looking at Daniel Farke. How can he ensure promotion this time around? What must he change? Him as an individual. Let's say he has the perfect summer. He brings in everyone he needs. We get a 10 out of 10 window. He's been backed fully. We start the season. What needs to change from this to last? He's got all the tools now. What for you needs to change? Because I know the live chat's popping off. It's saying tactics. It's saying substitutions, using his squad, etc. Lads, Andrea, I'll come to you. What's the key thing that Farke needs to change?
I think with considering that he'll have, if that's the case, all the players that he wants in position covered, honestly, I'll think that he might need to change the formation for a bit, like we talked in the last video, you know. He can consider to move for the 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3 or a 4-3-2-1. That, of course, are very versatile and adaptable. Another thing that should change for me is the readiness in reading games, because I think that the substitution should happen earlier in the games if players are not playing well. And because especially, you know, we've seen in the playoff final, you know, certain players who are not playing well are given too much credit, you know, to try to prove themselves right inside a game. If they don't play well, 60-minute sub. You send them a message, you know. There were players this season that were, especially in the first part, you know, they were sure that regardless of their performances, they'll still be on the pitch till the 75th minute, you know, and they'll still be starting the next game, you know, and that's the problem. So I think we didn't have a great bench this season, but another thing that should change, of course, is trying to rotate more the squad in terms of if a player is not playing well, let's give a chance to another player, or if a player is not having an impact on a game, let's make the change earlier. So for me, these three are the main priorities, of course. In terms of tactics, I think that if he has in the number 8 he wants, the number 10 he wants, I think we'll be more able to be more balanced. Especially, we won't have to force playing with Ampadu in centre-back position. We will need to force to have the centre-backs try to be our playmakers, because the two midfielders are not getting any verticality because they're in circle. If we have the players that we want, I think we'll be able to master the game in midfield, to move the ball quicker, to, you know, change the switch the sides, like we did many times this season with the wingers taking the 1v1. We'll have the striker, you know, capable of playing all around, to be the older play, to be the player creating depth. The number 10 will be the extra man in midfield and will be the key one. If they back him fully, I think we'll see again what Farke is capable of, because I think this season he did good things, but I think that he was very stubborn on was trying to play style football without having in a certain key position like the 8, the 10, and the 9, the players capable of fully playing and understanding what he asked from them in terms of trying to emulate what he did with Norwich with different players.
We definitely, I think, you know, one of the key points I want to pull out from everything you've just said, Andrea, is his tactical flexibility, fluidity, in-game management. I think we seen him, for me, apart from when he went, you know, through the Alamo and decided to put every striker on the pitch on, apart from that, the only tactical switch pre-match I ever seen was when he went to 3 against Norwich away from home, and it worked. Yeah. And I think he should have maybe tried to do something similar in the playoff final. Yeah. And maybe he and we as a fan base all got a little bit overgassed of how well we performed against Norwich and didn't really give a care for Southampton, and thought, well, nah, we're back on top now, so let's go. I think Yeah, he needs to be more tactically flexible for me. I think the fact that he tried the same thing against Southampton on 3 separate occasions, and on each time we lost, it's like, come on, man, you've got to show more to your game here. Like, I'm a massive fan of his. I think all three of us are, especially at this level. But there were times, and I think, you know, if he gets everything that he needs, I'm just hoping. I think the reasons he didn't go to the bench this season is not because he doesn't like to change games. Is because he didn't trust what was coming up behind. I'm hoping that's the case. And next season, let's hope that these players, say if Gruev drops to a bench, if Kamara drops to a bench, if, you know, I don't know, just that he does change it. He needs to trust. He needs to trust more as well, I think. Because for me, the majority of managers, having seen Joseph against Chelsea, would have definitely played him more times than he eventually got played that season.
Yeah.
Trust, Joe, that's the word. I think that's a lot of the season we can talk about trust. Again, the tactical stuff is true, but is that trust? You know, you play in a new system, players have got different roles. Does he trust those players in those different roles? I don't think he trusts them that much. The guys on the bench, doesn't trust them, or they play more minutes. You know, and that's important to me. He's a manager that's he takes pride. He's very serious, right? He believes in people. He needs that trust from them. They need to prove that to him, and that's something that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Managers, a lot of managers are like this. Bielsa had players he trusted that maybe we thought shouldn't have played, but they do, and that's it. It's about, and he's mentioned the players bringing in, but Daniel Farke now, before it gets to the pitch, he has to ensure that he trusts the players he brings in. We can't bring these players in and then Farke goes, I don't know if I can trust them. We'll see. He has to look at the profiles, obviously watch the players and look at how they're playing and understand their role at their current side and decide then, can I trust these players in my system? Because bringing them in and then deciding during the season whether you can trust them is not good because you don't know. And that's where you don't get players. And that's why I'm looking at the Kenny McLean's. That's why I'm looking at the Kenny McLean's, the Todd Cantwell's. Players he trusts.
Is everything all right?
It's good now, yeah. It's just about 5
like
seconds.
Nico.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, is it gone, yeah?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, cool. Sorry.
But yeah, like the players, Kenny McLean, a player he trusts. People might look at that and go, oh, he's old. That's the type of player you need. Because Daniel Farke could rely on him. So if you're building a team with him in it, he knows he can change the shape because he's got Kenny McLean in the centre. You can trust whatever role he puts him in. Same for Todd Cantwell. He gave Todd Cantwell, I know I've spoken about him so much in this. He gave him so much freedom that he hasn't given our wingers. That's trust, right? And you're right. He has to trust these players. But to do that, he has to bring the players in that he already trusts, if that makes sense. He can't decide during the season. So, yeah, he's got to be less stubborn in terms of that. He has to put faith in these players. He has to. Mateo Joseph, if he starts well in pre-season, has to put faith in him. He has to give him more minutes because he's a young player that is showing, from our eyes anyway, that he's willing to develop and learn. And let's hope that's the same at training. Yeah. That's one thing we'll never know. But trust is huge, mate. Trust, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. I think, as I say, we very rarely disagree, do we, as a trio? But I think
just say something, Joe. Just about people talk about plan A, plan B. So again, I'll go back to the Norwich team I watched. That team, that was plan A. They played it all season and they were very good at it. I don't think our plan A is what he wants our plan A to be. Like you said, with the personnel and the individuals we have, some of El Nonto are unbelievable players, but they don't fit exactly what we want. I think the same in midfield. You look at the balance there. I don't think exactly what he wants. So I don't think the football we've been getting is the perfect plan A that Daniel Farke wants to play, if that makes sense. So, yeah, the personnel, getting the personnel in that he knows can play his way is what him and the recruitment team have to work hard on. Because if we fail there, we're in big trouble. That's the key part, the recruitment part of it. Came together with the recruitment team, deciding what players need to come in is so big for us.
Yeah, for sure. I think, do you feel that during the season he trusted these individuals? We went to Stoke, we had a stinker. We never seen him again, did we?
He put faith in them and let them down, didn't they?
Yeah. But he needs to also not be as stubborn then. Because you need to then give them players another opportunity to put it right, not say, right, that's it, you're riding bench. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, Joe, football manager there, and if Joe, I'm sure he's just as stubborn. They're all the same. They're all they make decisions that none of us understand. I work for them, and sometimes I'm going, what? But they know best.
They have players that they simply won't give up on, and we've seen that with Growth this season.
Yeah, Bamford under all these coaches, you're looking at, Tyler Roberts under Bielsa. He loved Tyler Roberts. We're going, but he's not doing it. But then Bielsa's seen him at training, and he might be unbelievable at training. It's a completely different environment. So managers are stubborn, all of them. All the successful ones are stubborn. Pep Guardiola's rotations annoy City fans because he just rotates constantly. But that's what he does.
Pep roulette, innit? Pep roulette.
Yeah, exactly. That might lose him games. That might lose him finals. He might overthink things. That's what they do. That's why they're at the top, but that's also why they are so stubborn, because they believe in what they do more than anyone else. And sometimes that lets them down. Yeah.
Any thoughts, Andrea?
No, I agree with that thing. I think he needs to especially get the players that he wants. I agree on the fact that plan A he's getting is not the ideal one for him. It's also needed to make tactical adjustments, because the thing was that he was really, really stubborn on trying to get a different note from certain players to play a specific musical piece, but they were not able to play that musical piece in the way he wants them to play it, in normal words, certain players didn't have the skills, like Kamara, Gruev, of course, Rotary Pirot in the 10, of course, especially Pirot, to play in the way he played with the players that he wanted at Norwich, at Gladbach. So I think everything was a little bit penalized by the late takeover and the delayed transfer window with the players. Should they stay or should they go? The whole musical that happened last summer, and if he gets the player that he wants, if they fix the gaps that we have in the squad right now, I think that really we can be a more versatile team, a team that plays the football really Farke wants to play, because we're playing it. But we are also playing it with players that are not the typical 8, Kamara, the typical 10, Rotary and Pirot, and that's it. We're playing with a defensive midfielder at centre back. So if we sort the squad depth, and we gave him the players that he want, I think he doesn't have any excuse after that, because he has all the tools that, like Parag said last season, we're gonna give him all the tools, If he has all the tools this season, considering what happened last summer, or because the club was in a takeover, different situation. Now we are in another different situation, a more normal situation. If they give him all the tools that he wants, I think he can even change the formation whenever he wants. He can have different type of players in every position, and he can study and prepare a game different, not with the same game plan every time. He made some good tactical adjustments this season when he moved Gruev and the back three, in possession. Then after an international break, they pressing block completely our initiative in the middle, and what we did was the wing play, basically, just wing play.
Yeah, that's fair. And boys, let's say nothing does change. How long do you keep faith? Let's say we have a. Are you talking 10 games? Are you talking 5 games? Like 5 games almost feels far too little, but like he didn't win in 4, right? He didn't win in his first 4 last season. If we went into next season and he doesn't win in that first 4, like how long do you think the 49? Because I think they'll keep him on a tight leash next season. It'll be like, listen, you've got to get us up.
Yeah, if they spend, like they're going to say, if they back him like they're going to do, they're doing that because they know that's what they need to go up. And if you're underachieving what they expect, these guys, like I know that the guys who are patient and they believe and they will, there's that whole thing, they don't change the manager, they change the players. They're in the middle of the season. If you're 10, 15 games in and you're languishing mid-table, there's definitely 100% questions. If you've got every tool you need to succeed, and it's not looking like that, and we're still seeing the same issues every week and there's no improvement, that's where you do question the man in charge and say, look, something has to change. And that's the way football is. You know, the players might not be doing what he wants, but if they're not doing, you can't change 11 players. You know what I mean? It gets to the point where you've got to look and say, look, you're the manager of these players. They're still doing the things at the start of the season or even last season that we didn't like. That's not changed. So definitely tight.
Because I even think as an ownership, watching them games, they'll be going, why aren't you changing it? Why aren't you changing it? Why haven't they changed it? And I think they'll have had that conversation. They said, look, can you expect... Come on, it's a Fulham Frank review. They'd have said, why have you not changed it sooner? And I genuinely think he's gone, I don't have the players that I need on the bench. And if they then give him it, then obviously he's got to hit the ground running, hasn't he, Andre?
Yeah, absolutely. I think next season, if you look at the clubs in the Championship, it'll be us. Probably Luton will invest because of the parachute payment. Burnley, again, they will try to build a decent squad. And yeah, Sheffield United, we don't know if the takeover is going to happen or not. You know, there were rumors about it, but they have a huge steps that they need to spend wisely, you know. I think Borough. But if you look at Leeds United and the potential, especially with the sponsorship deals and all that, you know, the budget difference will be immense this summer. So I think 6-7 games. They were given 6-7 games, you know, like they do in the NFL, you know. If you're starting, they used our management, of course, our football side of it with Steinson, Hammond, and Myers. They used to European football, but let's remind ourselves that our owners are used to the NFL. And in the NFL, you don't need to use many games, you know, because if you're having a negative record on all of that, it can tarnish your opportunities to get a better spot for postseason, you know. So honestly, next season, then we need to be like Burnley in 2023, 2022, 2023. Start by hitting the ground running, you know. It's no project in the making. Next summer, you know, we'll have the
last season was though, right? They said 2-year plan. If you're not hitting every note, then it'll be time to go, won't it?
Yeah, and we'll need to bring in players early. Of course, this is a European Championship summer. But I think in July, when the preseason starts, we'll need to have a clear picture of the squad. If players are to be sold, let's sell them earlier in the window so we can start build the team early. Give Farke a 11 that will look very similar to the one starting the season in August. Because I think what happened in preseason last summer was a very young squad. Just Ampadu, you know, of the signings. We had Weber in a close behind the doors friendly with Barnsley, you know. We had many question marks, you know. And in the end, the gluing of the squad happened in the first part of the season, in August and September, because the players were not used to play together. This doesn't need to happen this season. We need to have a clear squad in preseason, the gluing, the development, the work, the tests, the experiment of Farke need to happen in preseason. So when the league starts in August, we have already pretty clear what the squad needs to do. The players know what they need to do. We need to repeat exactly what Bielsa did when he took over. You know, he developed his idea, his mentality. Yeah. We even lost some games in that preseason, but he didn't care because the results were not important. And he needed to glue the squad together, teach them his mentality. That's exactly what needs to happen now. We need to be ready for the first game of the season.
100%. Well, lads, I think that's it. 3 hours worth of content there or thereabouts. So legends, and yeah, thank you for getting through that. Big up to everyone who's watched it in little light chunks. We've been sat here all Saturday afternoon, man. Best believe that. Thank you though, both. Listen, while I've been away, we've probably been linked to every man and his dog. So Saturdays it'll be a big catch up, a week's worth of news where we're signing players and losing players. But it is what it is. I need a fucking holiday. Lockie, what's coming up on your channel, mate? What do you want to let people?
Video will be up when, I don't know when this comes out. Some of it will probably already be done. Breakthrough seasons coming up from youth players. I'm doing some reviews on the youth players. I'll be doing players we can sign on the wing, loan players we could get in, players in Europe that we could get in, different types of regions, stuff like that. So keep an eye out. It's going to be a lot of recruitment videos. It's probably already some from when this comes out. So, yeah.
Love that. Yeah, Andrea, anything you want to?
Yeah, I think I'll be looking at honestly for the summer. I start to look at some like really last summer. I start to like I did with the Excel. The spreadsheet. I start to look at certain players that might fit the system in various places. It sounds very FIFA, EFC covered mode, but
Scout report time, man. The people
no,
want
no.
it. They want it.
It was funny because a little word of Italian kicked in. Because I was saying. It might sound FIFA bot, but I said Però. It's not Però, which means bot in Italian. But yeah, Però. But yeah, I think I'll be starting to look at it for our next videos. So
Yeah, man.
and probably we were talking about. I don't know if you will be on board with this, but it'd be fun, honestly. I think we should also rate and see how they did our, old scouting suggestions of last summer,
Yeah.
in the future at some point.
Yeah. No, I hear. That should be, exciting stuff. Yeah. Right, well, I think we'll leave it there. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comments in, notification bell and all that jazz. And yeah, thanks everyone, and we'll see you in a bit. Peace out.